Nexus between crude oil and stock market return, Case of India. This article is written by Pradip Kumar Mitra. Contribution and originality of the article. Demand for analysis of crude oil and stock market at different time periods arises because of frequent inclusion of crude oil in investment portfolios. The paper carries out an in-depth analysis of the influence of crude oil return on the return of different stock market indices. Though researches have been conducted in Indian context, but the study of many of the researchers were limited to either Sensex or Nifty. This paper has taken 4 relevant stock market indices, Sensex, Nifty, ABSE Oil and Gas Index and NSE Energy Index, to study the impact and long-term association of crude prices on these indices on the basis of 11 years of daily data points. The data points cover both pre- and post-subprime crisis period, which is considered as a major structural break in the Indian stock market. Crude oil is an important driver of Indian economy, and therefore, it is important to investigate whether the movement in crude oil prices affects the return of stock market indices. This paper examines the impact of return from crude oil on the return of some major Indian stock market indices. The construct was made from daily data from 2005 to 2016 to calculate the daily return of crude oil and 4 different stock market indices. 2 different tests were carried out, namely, Granger causality test and Johansen co-integration test. Granger causality test was conducted to know the relationship between the return from crude oil and stock market indices, whereas Johansen co-integration test was carried out to understand whether the long-run equilibrium relationship is there between the dataset of returns. The result from the Granger causality test suggests that there is causality between the crude return and the return from stock market indices. The nature of causality is unidirectional in nature, where crude return affects the return of the stock market indices. The results from Johansen co-integration test suggest that there exists a long-run equilibrium relationship among these variables. Thank you for watching the visualization of Asian Journal of Empirical Research, Volume 8, Issue 4.